welcome back, everyone, for another episode of Chef Life Live. Sorry that I took a few weeks off there. I was helping my friend Addison move out to Wyoming. Was traveling a little bit. Had to come home, quarantine, and everything. But I'm all good. No COVID, which is great. So thank you for your patience. But we are back this week, and I'm very excited for our guest, Chef Carlos Gaytan. Very excited. He's a very accomplished chef here in Chicago. He's been here for a little bit of time now, and I'm very excited to be able to go out to his restaurant and try his food. But Chef Carlos was born in, he told me how to say this, and I'm sorry, Tzuco, Mexico in 1970. From a young age, Carlos fell in love with cooking, exploring a full spectrum of flavor while perfecting heirloom recipes alongside his mother. At 20 years of age, he craved a new adventure and set his sights on Chicago, Illinois. Little did he know that the journey would inspire a systemic life shift and solidify his dedication to a career in gastronomy. So we will bring Chef Carlos on and get to know him just a little bit better. How you doing, Chef?
How you doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing?
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for being here tonight. I really appreciate it.
It's an honor to be here as well with you. So
thank you so much. And I see you're at the restaurant right now. I can see, kind of can hear it a little bit, but it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's getting a little busy, so I apologize. That's a lot of noise.
No, don't apologize. That's a very good thing to have, especially right now. It's a very good thing. So, but yeah, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. So I'll kind of jump into our first round of questions here. Just kind of some icebreaker questions, just get to know you a little bit. So your mother was a big inspiration for you cooking growing up and everything. Was there a special meal or a favorite meal that she cooked that you loved as a kid?
You know what? When I was a little kid, probably 18 years old, I used to go to the field and help my grandpa to, work on the fields, cultivate whatever ingredients, My mom, she used to bring a lunch for us. And I remember my mom every day brought like a little bag with stews and things like that. And one of my favorite used to be pork and salsa verde, like a green tomatillo and fresh corn tortillas that she made. It was, I mean, I've been eating that in many different places and it's good. But I guess eating in the fields, underneath of the tree, and then so tired, hungry. That food, it was amazing. So I try to achieve those flavors all the time. Like how can I do those flavors? Yeah. But it
do you
was
ever come close to like? Yeah. Do you ever come close to your mom's like to the mom quality, or do you just is it quite as good as your mom's, or did she just kind of did something special to it you just can't achieve?
Well, I have one dish right now on the menu that she taught me how to make, and then she came to approve it. She came to see if I was doing it right.
Wow!
So
there you go. That's great.
One of the biggest sellers.
I'd hope so. I mean, if it's mom approved, then it's got to be good.
Yeah. So it's la cochinita pibil. If someone wants to come by and try, it's la cochinita pibil. Yeah.
All right. I definitely have to try that one when I come in. But so you came to Chicago in 1991. Do you remember what the food scene was like when you first got here?
Well, the food back then was very simplified. It was nothing like today. I remember, it was heard about Charlie Trotters coming up. It was the big deal, Charlie Trotters.
Yeah, Charlie Trotter.
And then of course, we had Le Francais in Wheeling. It was another restaurant that I really want to work, but I couldn't. And then I used to work nearby Le Francais in Bob Chim's Crab House. And by then, the food, it was about the ingredient, not too much about anything else. And it was very simple, simple. It was nothing fancy. But I love the fact, that people really care about serving good food all the time, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially coming from, in Mexico, and your mom bringing out, fresh food to the fields for you, like you're gonna want to try to find that simple, just really good, solid food, especially when you're far away from home.
That's totally true.
Yeah.
I mean, when I grew up eating, like most of the time, my father used to go hunting for meat. Our hunting was
Mm.
not because we wanna just get a kill, it was because we had the need to eat, and then we used to
Yeah.
really good because we used to bring from the fields, deer, venisons, rabbits, even iguanas. We feed iguanas, and all the
Oh, really?
quails, anything. Yeah, we have my whole town is really rich in so many wild ingredients. So I grew
Hmm.
up eating that all the time, and that's what it
Yeah.
brings me over here. Every time that I cook over here, I'm thinking more like using those kind of ingredients in my cooking, but sometimes people not used to.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, iguana. That's the first one for me. I haven't heard of iguana. What does that taste like?
Uh, Chicken, probably,
Chicken? Okay. That's
just like
funny.
chicken. It's a white meat. In my
Okay.
hometown, they peel the iguana, they take the skin off, and you eat it, in a soup, and it's very
Okay.
soft meat. But in
Hmm.
Oaxaca, they roast it. They roast it. They
Oh,
keep the skin on, and then I don't know. It gets really crunchy, and I don't know. I didn't like the texture.
didn't like that. That's
Eating.
funny. It's funny because like I'm from the Midwest and I remember having like squirrel. That was like something like I
Oh,
know my mom would eat that growing up, and like my brother would go hunting for it. And so like, and that's kind of, it tastes like chicken. It's like there's not much to it. It's kind of like a white meat, and it just kind of tastes like chicken. And so it's kind
really?
of, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't
Well,
recommend going out and getting squirrels, but yeah, it's funny how different regions of the world probably have that same kind of thing of like, well, that's an animal. It's probably got meat on it, so we can eat it. But
absolutely.
it just, yeah. Um, so obviously with the pandemic, everyone has favorite foods, but I feel like through the pandemic and like our shutdown and everything, did you have any like guilty pleasure foods or like your go-to favorite foods during the shutdown?
Well, since everything shut down, what I did, I kept myself and here in Tzuco. I was like no place to go, and I
Yeah.
started getting to know how to make another things that I never make before, like bread. So
Okay.
I got in trouble because I tried to make breads with different flavors. Like today, breads is mole bread. I do with
Mm.
tacoche. So obviously, I had to try it, and then at the end of the night, sometimes I take a piece of bread with me at home, and it's getting up there. It's getting here. It's getting,
Yeah, yeah, Brett will do that. Gotta be careful with that
yeah,
one.
yeah. So I gained a couple pounds. Just eating bread, different kinds of breads here
Eating
in
bread.
Suco.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's well, I mean that's a cool skill to try to learn. I was seeing on your Instagram you were like some of the loaves that you had. They look great. Like look, that's something I want to get better at is like really like artisanal breads. And I can make like a quick like white loaf, but nothing like too crazy. So
Okay.
yeah, but I mean, good on
Still
you
still
for taking the
learning.
time and yeah, that's
Oh no,
great that you
thank you.
take the time to keep learning and progressing. I mean, that's great.
Yeah,
What?
absolutely.
Um, is there any ingredients that you can't find here in the U.S. that you really love back in Mexico?
Yeah, we have a few ingredients that we cannot find in the U.S.
Hmm.
Most of them, there are fruits, fruits
Yeah.
eh, there we don't find in here. And like zapote, it's hard to explain the flavor of zapote. That is like a
Hmm.
inside you open the fruit and it is black, really black and sweet,
Oh wow.
uh, sweet, very
Huh.
meaty. Yeah. Uh, the other one, my favorite is mamey. Mamey. Sometimes you find mamey here in the United States in the markets,
Hmm.
but they're not the
Yeah.
same because they don't they don't ripen the right way. They're always unripened and doesn't taste as what
Hmm.
you have hanging on the trees over there. So
Yeah.
those two
Sure.
fruits are the ones that I miss a lot.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That stinks that we can't get them here. What was your biggest like culture shock coming to the U.S.?
You know what? One thing that I got. it got me really bad. It was like just to know that Mexican cuisine in the United States, it was really bad represented. It was not the style of Mexican cuisine that I've been to
Yeah,
know
I'm
in
sure.
Mexico. Here in
Right.
Mexican cuisine, it was just tacos, tortas, burritos. I was like, that's not a
Yeah.
Mexican cuisine.
It's
And
not,
like,
yeah.
obviously, yeah, we use tortillas a daily base every day, and then we use, I don't know, beans all the time. But there's so many different things. People didn't know what it was, pescado a la talla or
Yeah.
camarones, tracha, everything. I mean, we got so many recipes and different cultures in Mexico that is unbelievable.
Yeah.
So I was
Yeah, I
shocked that
know.
not to find anything like that here.
Yeah, I bet that's gotta be tough. Yeah, especially just to see kind of like your culture and everything, just kind of like almost watered down to just those few more American popular things, and be like, oh, this is good, but like there's just way better things out there that
Yeah,
Mexico offers for food. And so, do you think it's gotten better though, like since you got here to
yeah,
now, as far as like, Mexican
yeah.
cuisine?
I think especially in Chicago, I think the cuisine in Chicago changed for good. I think the revolution
Hmm.
started with the Le Francais and Charlie Trotter started, getting this change, how people should approach our new style of American cuisine, including,
Yeah,
many other ones, including Mexican cuisine. But if you take a look now and 20 years old, it's way different. I believe Chicago is one of the most amazing food scenes cities in the world. That
yeah,
you can come here and get an amazing meal all the time. Great chefs. We had an amazing chefs, and great, amazing restaurants that people need to try.
yeah. I agree. I tell people all the time, like, come to Chicago, and like you're not going to go wrong with pretty much anything you eat.
Yeah,
I know like a lot of people praise San Francisco and New York and everything like that. I hear those as favorite food cities for my guests when they come on, mainly because they're from Chicago, so they're not going to list it. But I think Chicago is just one of those top ones. I'm a little biased because I grew up near here, and so like I just love the city. But
yeah,
I feel like it's hard to beat the food scene, I think, here.
nice. Yeah, I love
Yeah,
Chicago.
absolutely. So I mean, you work in a lot of kitchens and you've owned restaurants and everything. When you're working, do you prefer silence or do you allow music in your kitchens?
When I'm cooking, normally I listen too much about the Circo de Soleil music. Everything that they
Okay.
play in the Circo de Soleil
Hmm.
um, inspire me so much because that music is very similar to my cooking. It has explosions,
Okay.
it got something really soft, and it goes really high, and
Hmm.
it's surprises and things like that. So I prefer to listen to it. I let everybody listen whatever they want to listen.
Okay.
Obviously, matter way,
That's
but yeah,
well, right. Yeah. That's good.
yeah,
That's nice. Yeah. I feel it depends on the kitchen and kind of like obviously during service, I feel like it's like no music. You need to be like more focused on that. But like prep and like breakdown, I always enjoyed when a chef would let me listen to music or anything, just kind of lighten the mood after a tough service and everything and kind of just have a little fun.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah, I feel that. All right, so now that we did a few icebreaker questions, we can get into the real serious stuff. It's everyone's favorite section of the interview, and of course, it requires no garnish. Okay, so I've started asking, I guess, this question recently because I do find it interesting. And being someone like you who's kind of done this before, you've had some acclaim in the city. Like, how do you feel about being interviewed and talking about yourself and talking about your food?
I mean, sometimes people they know who you are, but they never hear exactly how did you get there. Sometimes with the interviews, they help people to understand. How much it costs to be up here. How much
Yeah.
sacrifices you had to do in your career to be where you are all the time. So it helps a lot.
Yeah.
Of course, I like to tell my story, my side to people, and how grateful I am, to be here, especially in Chicago. Grateful to be still alive, cooking and so many things. Yeah. So yes, I do. I do like being
Okay,
on the.
that's good. Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's kind of part of why I started doing the show, like, because there's so many people, there's so many chefs, or front of house, back of house, everyone in the food service industry that has such an interesting story to tell. And there's a lot of
Yeah,
people don't get that chance. And so doing my best to
absolutely.
shed the light. So, um, when you realized you had that kind of passion for cooking and food and everything, like why Chicago? How'd you end up picking Chicago?
Well, Chicago, because I have someone that asked me to come by with him. It was my cousin of mine from Mexico. He used to work in
Okay.
Chicago, and he offered me a job in here, so I came and worked for him. Yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
That makes sense. I mean, if you got the hookup for a job, that's where you got to go. So it makes sense.
Yeah, plus, I really love the city. I think Chicago
Yeah.
is one of the most beautiful cities. It's not too big compared to New York. I
Yeah.
love Chicago. There's really nice, clean city. It's very organized and really nice
Yeah.
such a people, in here. So
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like Chicago. I mean, we're close to the Midwest. Midwesterners are, known for their positive attitudes and being hospitable. I know Southern hospitality is kind of a little more famous, but I think Midwestern hospitality is more than Southern, in my opinion. I know I'm biased in that, but I think that holds true. So
cool.
you came to Chicago, and did you know that you wanted to get into a kitchen and start cooking, or you came and you're like, I just got to get this job?
Well, I came and started working a dishwasher. And
Okay.
then I used to see the dishes and plates and things like that. And when I listened to this, many people, they're looking for the American dream. And they're like, oh, we're living
Yeah.
the American dream. And like, okay, you were living the American dream. You're working a dishwasher for 20 years. That's your American dream. And I couldn't understand why they were telling those things. And like, if you're coming from another country, you have to fight really hard to do your best of the best, not just working in the same place for 20 years and no hope. And like
Yeah.
I realized that we didn't have any role models, from Mexico and anything like that. And I don't know. And just one point, I dream about being a role model for my people. That like, if I push this by myself really hard, I didn't have money to go to school, so I used to work
Hmm.
for free just to learn in the kitchen.
Okay.
And my schedule was from 3 to 11, and so I used to show up 10 o'clock in the morning and work for free. But learning, I was
Yeah.
investing on me, all the time.
Hmm.
And my days off, I used to work for free with other chefs as well. Until I
Hmm.
got the opportunity to work in the kitchen, and I realized that one really important thing, through the food, you make people happy. And I was like, and you feel good about it. And that's when I
Yeah.
decided I want to be a chef.
That makes sense. Yeah. I know I've worked, working in the food service, there's a lot of Hispanic workers who are porters and dishwashers and everything like that. Extremely hard workers. And I always try to push for them to like start prepping or whatever if they want to try to not just be in the dish pit. Cause I know that it
Hmm.
kind of sucks being washing dishes, just even if, but that's tough washing dishes. It's not an easy job.
And
And
it's not
yeah,
easy, but it's very important for us to know, because when you work
absolutely.
every station in the kitchen, you learn everything. And it's gonna be a time that you need to work on this dishwasher. When the dishwasher didn't show up, or something
Yeah.
happened, or you had to train someone that's not doing the job, so what to do and how to do it. And that was
Yeah,
so important.
absolutely.
I never gonna regret, being a dishwasher. I was gonna be grateful that I know every station in the kitchen.
Yeah, absolutely. And that says a lot about you as a chef. Even now, like that if worst comes to worst, you have a dishwasher call out. That has to get done. I don't know how many times like I've had to jump in the dish pit, to help out for someone calling out sick or whatever, because like that is the lifeline for a restaurant is making sure dishes come out and they're clean and ready to go for service. And so
Absolutely.
it's extremely important. Yeah, it's very important. Um, it's too bad it's a more not, I don't want to say underrated, but what's the word I want to say? Unappreciated, I'll say,
Yeah.
position in a lot of kitchens, and
Probably.
it's unfortunate.
But they're
Yeah,
very important because I mean, if they don't do a good job, it shows on your plates. So, but they're always on
yeah,
top of the game, and they're always right there for you, whatever you need. Not all the time they're
yeah,
washing dishes. You train them, to come and start learning the kitchen as well. And they
absolutely.
they they get exciting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. So you're a dishwasher. You're coming in early. You're learning the kitchen, and everything. So you're moving up, and then how did you end up going to the Union League Club of Chicago?
That is after 4 years working at the Sheraton Hotel, Norbrook. Um,
Okay.
I became the right hand of Chef Jet Miller. He was the chef, executive chef in the Sheraton Hotel. Uh, I was doing everything right, and I think I learned really quick. And then one day, he called me to the office and he was telling me like, "Hey, chef, I think it's for you to go." And like, what do you mean? Like, you fire me? And like, no, I'm not gonna fire you, but you're different than everybody else. It's like
Mm,
you've been working for me for 4 years. I teach you everything that I know. I don't have anything else to teach you, and you're hungry
yeah,
to know a lot. It's
yeah.
like if I don't want to be the most selfish person on earth, and I keep you with me. And like for me, the best thing to do is let you go and find a place for you. And
Wow.
that was really nice. Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
something that it shocked me, something that it changed my life. And then it, he helped me to look for a job, and I was very impressed. We did a dinner in the Union League Club a couple months before, and I told him, you know
Hmm.
what, I would love to work in the Union League Club. It was such a nice club and everything, and then so
Yeah.
he made a phone call for me, and in 2 weeks I was working at the Union League Club. I was there for
Wow.
eight
That's
years.
great.
Yeah.
Right, because then so that led to working with, and I probably could say his name incorrectly because it's French, but Chef Dominique
Tony
Poon.
Letoniek,
I don't know.
Letoniek.
Yeah,
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 he was the chef of Bistro 110.
that's right.
Yeah, he was there, and then it was funny because one time I did a dinner for the French embassy here in the Union League Club, and
Okay.
it was 600 people. And
Wow.
by then I was the banquet chef over in the Union League Club. I was in charge doing all those
Okay.
banquets and big dinners.
Wow.
And then the day everybody show up, including Chef Dominique and many other chefs,
Hmm.
asking for my boss, Michael Garvin, the Union League. And I was like, well, Chef Michael is leaving a file every day. And then like we
Yeah.
had this huge, 600 party for the French embassy. He's supposed to be here, and like normally I do. I'm in charge doing it. I got everything under control.
Yeah.
So they went crazy, and then they're like, they brought more chefs, and I was like, look, let me do my job. If I'm not doing it
Yeah.
right, you can start helping me. Otherwise, trust me that I know everything is in control. Well, they let me kind of do it by myself. Uh, when I finished everything, they came to me and they were like, "Wow, I never seen anything like that. I'm so sorry when it happens. I
Yeah.
didn't know that you were so amazing." They went on, and then a week later, he called me. He's like, "Hey, we're looking for someone like you. We have a French restaurant, bistro.
Hmm.
It was Bistro Margot, and we're looking for a chef, a Mexican chef. They want to take over the restaurant." And the only condition that I asked is, you know what? If you teach me all the French cuisine from the roots, I'll take it. And
Wow.
he's like, yeah, I'll teach you. So he was teaching me for about 4 months every morning.
Oh
And I
wow.
was doing my homework, and then I was very excited, learning from him. And
Hmm.
I ran the restaurant for 3 years.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's great. And that's where you kind of gained that like passion for like French technique and French cooking was through him.
hmm Yeah, that was through him. A point that I was doing more French cuisine than Mexican cuisine. I mean, I used to
Hmm.
love learn kind of make everything, from
Yeah,
pork down, from French onion soup, from I don't know, croque madame. Or you mentioned it, and I used to make everything,
just everything.
and from the scratch, everything.
That's great.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's really good. Yeah. And so you were there for 3 years?
3 years.
With 3 years. Okay. So when did you know that you wanted to leave and kind of take a chance on yourself and open your first restaurant?
I think since I was on the Sheraton, I think when I saw that people tell me, what I told you early, they living the American dream, and I was
Hmm.
thinking in my head, everyone is living the American dream, but the wrong way. It should be different. People should have hope
Yeah.
for. If you work in a restaurant, you should have hope of open a restaurant and your own. And
Yeah.
and since when I started the restaurants, that's what I want. I want to have my own restaurant. I want to be
Yeah.
me,
Absolutely.
myself, and a plate. Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. So, and your first restaurant was, I know you told me the name, Mexique, right? That's the
Mexico. That's correct.
Mexique.
But it's
Okay.
Mexico and France. Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. And so that was like your first that was your first restaurant, and it was like the fusion between French cooking and Mexican cuisine, correct?
That's correct. It was something that I really enjoyed. By then,
Yeah.
I was basically whatever I was cooking in that restaurant, it was whatever I was cooking at home.
Okay.
And my
Yeah.
friends, my kids, like, "Pa, you should open a restaurant with this. What you just did, the lamb chops. I don't know, the pork belly. Just cook it the same way." And I was like, people might think I'm crazy because there's not such a thing anywhere. Mexican, French, but I thought it was
Yeah.
really good. And then I decided to go that way.
To go for it. I mean,
Yeah.
that's really awesome. And from what I was reading about your restaurant, the area that you were opening in at the time was a little more dangerous as far as Chicago is concerned. And so it was kind of you took a chance on that neighborhood, from what I was reading, anyways.
Yes.
But you had ran that for quite a while and kind of turned it around. It seemed like you brought in a new way of dining to that area. It almost seemed like the area started to turn around, maybe not right away, but in the years to follow. Because now it's not a dangerous neighborhood.
No, it was when I came in, and one of the things we had so many people, so many homeless people, uh,
Hmm.
alcoholic people. They used to be in the area, and what it happens that we came friends, and a lot of people they used to tell me, it's scary walking over here. So many drunk people out there, so many,
Hmm.
uh, homeless people, drunk people, and then like
Hmm.
uh, I became friends with them, and they were so excited for me, they celebrate for me. If I was on the news, they always brought
Yeah.
the newspapers and celebrating with me. And then little by little, I started asking them, like 5 o'clock, can you get, is any way that you guys can go any other place? And then if you guys need
Yeah.
something, just knock the door from the back, and whatever you need, I'll help you, whatever. And then
Yeah.
I gained the respect, I gained the respect, and they were watching for me, and they started little by little. And then
Yeah.
it was a day that they used to just come by and say hi. But I pass by almost
Huh.
every day, and no, I don't see them
That's
anymore.
really great.
Yeah,
That's really great. I feel that's it's a big part of a lot of businesses now is to like really be involved in the community and wanting
yeah,
showing the community that you're not there just for yourself. You're there to help. And so
absolutely.
like
Yeah,
to come into an area that's known for not being that safe and kind of not even turning a blind eye to it, just facing it on and be like, these are people, and I'm here to help myself and I'm here to help them. I think that's absolutely great.
absolutely.
And eventually you ended up receiving a Michelin star for that restaurant.
Yeah, became the first
How did,
Mexican, first Latino ever won a
yeah,
Michelin star. It's
that's
crazy. It
incredible.
was a
Yeah.
It was about to close Mexico that week when I gained the Michelin Star.
Wait.
It was a Monday night. Mondays I used to close the restaurant, and I was talking to someone from my team. I was telling them that by Fridays, last day with the license,
Okay.
and the business it was hurting very bad. It was not busy. I was losing money, and I was 100% decide that I was gonna close on Friday. I got on my
Hmm.
knees and prayed to the Lord, and I asked him, I say, you know what? I asked you for a restaurant. You give me a restaurant, and I mean, I don't know to do anything else, just cooking. If
Hmm.
there's any chance that you can help me with this, and then he
Yeah.
listened to my prayer. The next day, I wake up, I went downstairs, and I got a phone call. And there was someone telling me like, Chef, we follow you since you opened. We became great, big fans of your food, your style, and then
Mhm.
you gonna get a Michelin star. And then I was
That's
like, well,
incredible.
I was like, but I don't know exactly the Michelin star can do. I didn't know they had so much power. And
Yeah.
then the next day, the next Wednesday, we had a full house and all the time, full house, many years.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's quite incredible. I mean, how did that feel to be the first Hispanic or Latin chef to win a Michelin star? I mean, that's pretty incredible. I mean, you said you wanted to be an inspiration. I feel like that's really setting the tone for that.
It feels amazing. And sometimes it feels a little heavy in your shoulders,
Yeah, I'm
because
sure.
people's looking at you, what you do, and what are you doing, and you
Hmm.
always want to do everything the right way. It's no wrong, because people don't forgive you. If you do something
Yeah,
wrong, people will notice right away. So
yeah,
that part is like you have to always choose the right thing. You have to be smart. You have to kind of behave good all the time, because
yeah,
many kids they looking at you, they want to be like you. At this point, like I receive every day, like, hey, chef, you know my dream is just be like you, and like, well, don't drink too slow, too. You have to dream bigger, because I mean I can teach you how to get here, but you have to do homework and get better than me. you know
yeah,
I will try to get
definitely.
them to get better than me. Yeah.
That's good. I feel like that's good teaching to want to see your pupils go further than you did. I think that's great.
Absolutely.
Did you, when you first opened Mexique, were you trying to go for any Michelin stars? Do you know anything about the Michelin rating system or anything?
I didn't even know what a Michelin star was until I got one.
That's
Yeah.
really funny. I mean,
It
that's
is.
probably
It
for the
is.
best. When you got the one, did it make you want to get two? Did you want to go for that second star?
No, no.
No.
I just want to keep it simple. Always, you just want to be yourself. It
Yeah.
was a lot of pressure, but you want to be yourself all the time, and a plate. Everything that you do, you want to, because when you're cooking, it's like cooking at home. You don't have no
Hmm.
pressure at home. It's something
Yeah.
over here. It's sometimes we see, great chefs that come in here to have dinner, and like, no, no, don't get pressure. I mean, just relax, cook the same way for everybody. So if we cook the
Yeah.
same way for everybody, if someone comes, great chefs, I mean, we happy to have them, and we just
Right.
create the normal food that we create every day.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Absolutely.
that's really great. So, I mean, after getting the first star and learning a little bit more about the Michelin rating system, sorry. So Julie Monrad was asking, would you say you're a big proponent of the Michelin system then, like now?
That I what? I'm sorry. I cannot
Are
read
you a
very
big
well.
proponent of the Michelin rating system?
I mean, you know what? I think the Michelin rating system is one of the most honest uh,
Okay.
and fair. I've seen other guys that exist in the world, and they're tricky sometimes,
Yeah.
And I mean, I got another restaurant that I might gonna be open sometime. I don't know, maybe at the end of the year. But I want to try to achieve in that one Michelin Star. It's gonna be
Okay.
a very small restaurant, 12 seats, and I'm gonna open
Oh
only
wow.
3 days a week. Yeah, and I'm gonna do one sitting of 12 people. That's it. So that one is gonna be more, very details and everything. So that one
Mm-hmm.
probably will get a Michelin Star.
All right. Well, good luck to you on that. That sounds interesting. That's an interesting concept.
Thank you.
So wish you the best of luck with that. So 2013 is when you got your first Michelin star, and then you also went on to being on, I don't remember the season exactly, but you went on to be on Top Chef.
Yeah, it's funny. After getting the Michelin Star, when people want to do something with Mexican Michelin Star, it was just one guy. It was just
Hmm.
me. So I
Yeah.
remember they were looking for a Michelin Star, a Mexican Michelin Star from South Africa. It was the only one, and then I got invited to go to South Africa and film Master Chef as a judge. So I went twice to South Africa. Here in the United States, they asked me for Top Chef season 11
Okay.
in
Okay.
2013. Yeah, our season it was filmed in New Orleans, and the final it was in Hawaii.
Okay. And you made it to the
Yeah.
top three, right?
Yes, top four.
That's
Yeah,
top four. Sorry. That's
yeah.
impressive though. That's really cool. I know from what I've heard, Top Chef is one of the more like honest, actual like true cooking competitions for like TV, like
It
compared
is. It
to
was.
some of the other ones. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I be on both sides. Sometimes, yeah, you
Yeah.
sacrifice great chef because the other one is doing more TV drama than you know than someone
Yeah.
is
There's
doing a
definitely.
great cooking. Yeah, it's a little bit
Yeah.
tricky in some shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it nerve wracking like being on TV and being like that much on display all the time with your cooking?
I think you can do not put attention too much about television or being in the screen, and then you
Yeah.
just a point that doesn't bother you if someone is just filming you or things like that. But you can kind of get used to know, and but the things that you do, you're always cooking, and it's what you
Yeah.
concentrate most of the time. And obviously, I mean, my kitchens are open all the time, open kitchens,
Okay.
and
Yeah. So.
because I love to showcase what we do, it's nothing too high. Everything is cooked right in front of you, and
Mhm.
it's what we love, just cooking for people.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense of being on display all the time with open kitchens. That's really cool. So you got that opportunity to be on Top Chef and just yeah, everything you're doing. It's great.
It's really cool.
So and then in 2014, you ended up closing Mexique, right? And then you decided to go back to Mexico for a little while.
Yeah, I did decide to go to Mexico. That was in 2018 that I moved down
Hmm.
to Mexico. I got the opportunity to open a restaurant in Mexico, and I think it was something really nice. This group is Caret Mexico. eh, they were looking for someone to run or have the fine dining restaurant in Xcaret. What I love about this project, Xcaret Group, they concentrate and represent Mexico the best way possible. So they
Hmm.
showcase Mexico in a park. It's like Disney. Xcaret is like Disney here in the United States, but everything is more Mexicanized. Everything is Mexico. It's about Mexico, the traditions in different towns, the food about Mexico, everything about it. And I want to showcase to people there. Yeah, we have fine dining as well. Mexican cuisine. And
Yeah.
as when I decided to say yes, and I would spend a couple of years down in Mexico with the restaurant. Plus, I was traveling, many different
Hmm.
regions that I didn't even know, different towns to try food, cook with friends, and it was amazing.
Yeah. That sounds pretty amazing.
Yeah, learning from my culture.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's where a lot of inspiration comes for a lot of people is, what they know, their hometowns, their families and, their cultures.
Yes,
So That's a really great thing about cooking is that it's kind of endless in that thinking that there's endless cultures and tucked away hidden cities with different cuisines and traditions and foods and ingredients, and it's like it's never ending of what you can learn, which is
Absolutely.
really great. So you came back to the States in 2019 then?
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So with I know that Chef Rick Bayless, he kind of made a name for himself with kind of I don't know if it's specifically Mexican cuisine or South American cuisine, and I'm not trying to downplay or anything on Rick Bayless or anything, but what are your thoughts on like kind of the cultural appropriation in cooking with someone who isn't from a specific area like Mexico? Like I'm just using Rick Bayless as an example, but he's from Oklahoma,
Hmm.
cooking Hispanic style food. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, on the first place, kind of grateful because he 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 went to Mexico. He traveled Mexico, and he saw different ways the Mexican cuisine, and he brought some of that stuff to the United States, and it
Hmm.
was part of that movement. That people need to understand their Mexican cuisine. It's not always cheap and fast food restaurants. We
Yeah.
had great qualities. And we had to check for the quality of the ingredients. And he did that. He did that, and then obviously being from Oklahoma. Uh, Not being a Mexican, but he did it really well, execute. And
Hmm.
the only thing that bothers me is there was no another Mexican chef doing it. Like, why someone
Yeah.
else that is not Mexican is doing it and not us?
Right.
And that's why
Yeah.
I was like, let me try. Let me try. It's
Yeah.
not his fault. It's our fault, and not him
Yeah.
because we don't do anything.
So
Yeah.
did you say like that was kind of like some inspiration for you to be like, I need to be kind of the one to do this to really bring
Yeah.
my country's like food forward and cuisine forward?
Absolutely. Yeah. And then I've been pushing, since I opened Mexico. And now that
Yeah.
we are in Tzuco, is we're doing great things.
It looks like it. I mean, your menu looks amazing. It looks so
Thank you.
good. You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
How did you come up with the idea for Zuko?
Tzuco, well, in the first place, I didn't want to come back to the United States. After closing
Okay.
Mexico, I want to stay in Mexico. I
Okay.
opened a restaurant, and then one day I was talking to my daughter. She's 23 right now, and I was talking to her. I was like, "Honey, I think I'm just gonna stay in Mexico. I'm gonna open a few restaurants in Mexico City, maybe Los Cabos." And she's like, the minute that you open something in Mexico, you're gonna do amazing. People love you in Mexico, and they're always looking for your food. You're gonna do really well. But you're not that kind of chef. You like to work really hard to get up there again. And if you're coming back to Chicago, you have to work hard to get on top of the game again. And that's what you are.
Hmm.
It's who you are. And I was like, oh Lord. I said, well, okay, honey, I'll see you next week. I come back to Chicago, look for a place, and then I hired one of my best friends in Mexico. He's a designer. And then I told him, I want to do something from my hometown, kind of. And he's like, well, let's go to your hometown. And we spent in my hometown, we spent eating. And we went to the mountains, we went to the fields, we went to, I don't know, everywhere. And places that I used to go when I was a kid. And so I can bring that concept over here. I was like, I want to tell people story where I'm coming from, and what
Hmm.
what it is. So, and he come out with this great idea, Tzuco with the name comes from Huitzuco.
Yeah.
Huitzuco means place of thorns. Yeah, so that's why you see so many thorns in here. And then we reduce it down the name only halfway so people can pronounce it, and,
Yeah,
and
makes sense.
but this is like a museum of my hometown. And then obviously the food is like my mom's cooking all the time, to try to achieve
Yeah.
that for everyone. Yeah.
That's really great. That's really funny. It's never good if your kid calls you out like that. You know, you gotta be like, you know, I guess you're right. And that's funny that
Absolutely.
you bring up that story because I totally was going to bring up. I found that quote in an article and I was like, oh, that's really really great. That's so funny. And so, but I'm glad that you were able to just kind of bring that up, and that's really funny.
Yeah.
Um, Now, you'll have to kind of help me with this a little bit. From what I was reading, it sounds like with Zuko, there was like a few different dining options. There was like a to-go, a tasting menu, and then you have a la carte. And it seemed like it was almost kind of separate. Is that right? Or how does that work?
Well, we took over Roy's place, and it was a huge space. And I was telling them, I can do three concepts in here. And the one, it was the 12 seats, the fine dining. They always
Okay.
want to have a small restaurant like that. Suco,
Hmm.
everything to share, everything to the center of the table. And we did a
Okay.
panango. Panango, it was a Mexican bakery, like fast food,
Okay.
but
Hmm.
sweet breads and things like that, coffee. And
Hmm.
we were doing it really great, but with the pandemic, we had to shut down Panango and knock
Okay.
down the wall and extend Suco. So we did a lot of changes. And listen, I mean, we were new. We opened in September 2019, and COVID hits 6 months
Right. Yeah.
later, shut down.
Right.
So we
Oof.
had to kind of redo everything, shut down Panango, reopen,
Yeah.
change the windows so windows can open and become a patio, part of the patio. And
Yeah.
then it was crazy. But, we tried to stay on the game all the time.
Yeah, I bet I've said this before in the show. It's been really incredible to see how so many restaurants and chefs and just business owners have really adapted to the pandemic to like really keep their business going, keep their employees working, and everything. And restaurants, especially, there's been so many restrictions on restaurants, and the ones that have been able to really keep going and make the changes, it's pretty incredible to see. So definitely
Absolutely.
kudos to you to kind of take
Thank you.
a back seat on some options to keep other ones going. So that's really great.
Thank you.
So you're welcome. So then your tasting menu, that's the 12 seat concept that you were saying earlier.
hmm It's
Okay. That's
yeah, it's a new concept. I mean, that concept is what I do right now in Chicago, Mexico. Eh,
okay.
yeah, but I want to do it here. Uh, but I want to make it very exclusive. It gets really hard to people getting there.
Yeah.
Open only 3 days a week. I think it was good. It was nothing to do with business. It was more to when you're a kid, you got a favorite toy. And you want to play with your
Okay.
toy all the time. And here, when
Yeah.
you're a chef, you always want to have something like that. Like you're not gonna be making money, but you want to be creating food. And obviously, you don't
Yeah.
want to be great quantities. You want to do quality of food and
Right.
do a great quality. So you have to narrow down. So I was gonna. The idea is for me to be there every night, the 3 nights.
Okay.
Sometimes getting old, hard. And I don't move. Like 20 years ago, I don't have that speed. But it was something more relaxed for me, something that I really want to
Yeah.
have. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds really interesting. That's a really cool concept. It's almost just like having that like supper club, like that pop-up dinner almost, that like
Yeah.
3 nights a week. So it's just that tasting. That's really, it's a really cool idea. And then with that, you want to get Michelin stars for that one, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Are you going to try to get to three with that one? Try to compete with Alinea, get that second
No,
just go
probably
for two?
two.
Okay.
Two. Probably. Yeah. I have some Michelin guy that came to my other restaurant in Ha. We're doing
Hmm.
something similar, and when they left, they're like, if we had to give you a Michelin star, we will give you two in this place.
Okay.
Obviously, in Mexico, we don't have Michelin star guy yet, not yet.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Not yet.
And then yeah, we do really good concept and really good food over there. Everything is really nice, and I think I can achieve the same thing over here, especially if I'm gonna be here.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I believe it. I think you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Um,
Cool.
a lot of like I said, you've worked in quite a few kitchens. What's the kind of atmosphere that you like to have your kitchen be? Is it more like kind of completely quiet, heads down, working, or a little more relaxed? Like, what kind of atmosphere do you like to keep in, especially with a more fine dining atmosphere, a more fine dining kitchen? What atmosphere do you like to have?
I always like to enjoy what they do and be
Hmm.
themselves. Obviously, I told them let's have fun, but let's get serious when it has to be serious. Our dishes it
Yeah.
has to be serious all the time. When people eat our food, I want them to appreciate everything. The time that we take even to do a small cut of vegetables, things like that. Uh,
Hmm.
but I like to motivate the people, so I don't want to be upset all the time or be on top of someone, I want to give them the space, teach them if I have to
Yeah.
teach them twice, three times, four times, teach them again how to execute a dish. But I want more relaxed ambience in here, like
Yeah.
not too tight. Yeah.
Right. You don't want people to be so stressed out that they're making mistakes and have so much anxiety that they can't really
Yeah,
focus or they're too scared to make mistakes, which that's really good.
absolutely.
Do you feel like that's created a kitchen to where you don't have high turnover? You're able to like hold on to staff for longer and then produce a better quality line cook or chef in the future?
Yeah, I'm being blessed. I got doesn't like me that much when I need someone in the kitchen. I was do a post and I had like 350 kids there send me the
I
resume.
believe it.
They want to work. It's like wow, it's a blessing because you become someone that inspire those kids and they always want to be next to you. They want to learn. They want to know what you did to get up there, and they want to be part of the
Yeah.
dream. And then it's nice. It's nice.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, for someone who's kind of paved the way for like fine dining for Mexican cuisine and being the first Hispanic to, chef to get a Michelin star, I mean, that's who wouldn't want to come work for you?
Absolutely.
Um, yeah, look for my resume. It's coming. It's coming soon for
All
that
right.
for that 12C concept.
Sounds good.
um, so you mentioned that you're getting a little bit older and everything. You don't move as fast. Julie is asking, what does retirement look like for a chef, or what advice would you give to chefs who want to be in the industry for life?
Well, one thing that I'm thinking right now, I've been working really hard and it's hard, right now what I have in my head is helping my kids to get to college. My daughter
Hmm.
wants to go to medical school, very expensive. She's in the
Hmm.
first year, so much money. Now my son wants to be an astronaut, go to space engineer. One thing that I want to do for myself, I want to open several like taco places, that I can
Okay.
open maybe 4 or 5 of them, very
Yeah.
simplified, and that is gonna be my, something that doesn't need too much attention on me.
Yeah.
They hire the right person that can run it for me, and just
Yeah.
that will be my retirement. you know, that's
No, that makes
my
sense. Yeah.
you know. But right now I'm pushing forward, obviously to get better and do better things so people can know me. And so when I open another place there, they don't have to spend 50 $75 per person. It's a place they can spend $10 $12 per person just to eat.
Yeah.
Obviously you're gonna keep with the name, you're gonna keep those places always busy. If you do the right
Yeah.
way, you're always gonna get busy. So that's my ideal dream for retirement. Not too sure, but that's what I'm gonna try to go for.
I mean, yeah, I mean that's a good one. I mean, especially now, quick food like that it's to get a really, really good one that's like quality, like that good late night food that's not just like cheap and like junk food, but
Exactly.
actually like quality and it tastes really good. Like that, those go like crazy. Like That's what I'm looking for. Like, I want something that's like really solid. Yeah, that's a good plan to have. It's a good plan.
Yeah.
Okay, so last question I have we're kind of through the most of our more deeper questions here. Last one I have is I ask everyone on here, what is the most relied kitchen tool you have besides your knife?
Vitamix.
What is it?
The Vitamix. The blender.
Vitamix. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Blender. That makes sense.
That tool is. They don't pay me for advertising, but it's best tool that you can have because they bring all the flavors together like no other machine in the kitchen, and it's big difference when you utilize just regular blender and you use Vitamix. It makes big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean it's an industry. Yeah, it's an industry standard for a reason. You know. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good one. I've heard that before. Some people have said the Vitamix on here, and that's absolutely true. So, all right, now that's pretty much all the question I have. But now we are moving into our lightning round. Okay, so lightning round. Just try to answer as fast as you can. Okay. All right, first one. I did read that at a young age you learn how to break down a whole goat. Correct. How fast can you break down a goat?
Oh, this time 45 minutes maybe.
45 minutes? I'd say that's pretty fast. I mean, that's pretty good. I feel it'd take me all day to break down a whole goat.
Okay.
So that makes sense. All right, number 2. What is your favorite activity on your day off?
Scuba diving.
Scuba diving?
Yeah. Normally I don't take days off here in Chicago. I prefer when I go to my other restaurant, the Riviera Maya, and then I do scuba dive.
That's awesome. I've never done scuba diving. Always wanted to. Haven't done it. It's on the list, but all right. Number 3. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Yeah, me too. All right. Coffee or tea?
Coffee. Even I'm drinking tea right now.
Right? Yeah, that's what I figured. I assumed it was coffee you're sipping on. Makes sense. All right, number 5. What is your dream vacation?
Oh Lord. Thailand.
Thailand. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's on my list of places to go as well.
Yeah.
All right, number 6. What is something that you own that you should probably throw out?
That I own, that I probably am. Oh Lord. Oh my God. I don't know. Maybe a sombrero.
All right, number 7. What is your most referenced cookbook?
What is the ingredients Bible? Ingredients
the flavor Bible?
The flavor
Bible?
Flavor Bible.
That's a good one.
That's amazing.
That one's a good one. I like that. I have that here, and it comes in handy a lot.
Yeah.
All right, number. Yeah, I don't blame you. All right, number 8. What is the most underrated food city?
The most underrated food city, I believe, Mexico City.
Mexico
City is they got so much going on. People do not know. And the chefs they visit Mexico City, they got surprised by what they see and what they eat. Yeah, I
would love to go to Mexico City and eat. I know. Did you happen to go to Next when they had Mexico City as one of the menus they were doing?
Yes.
Did you?
I did.
Was it good?
No, it was good. It was good. Yeah, I tried some food. But another city that I was thinking, you know what? Cape Town in South Africa.
Cape Town. Okay,
we don't know anything about South African cuisine, and it's amazing. It's amazing. I love that town. They do. Wow. Yeah, I was blown away for that cuisine.
Wow. Yeah, I would love to go to Cape Town. I mean, I want to go all over. Hopefully, that's like my biggest reason for wanting. Second, I want everyone to be healthy and safe. But second reason, I want the pandemic to end so I can actually travel again.
Okay.
Yeah, because I definitely I miss it. And we talk about all these great cities and everything, and it's like I can't even go right now. But
Absolutely.
all right, pushing ahead. Number 9. What is the most used app on your phone?
Probably Instagram. That's
Yeah,
what I use.
that makes sense.
I
That
mean, I don't
I know.
use.
I hear
Yeah,
that. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Especially for chefs, we always got to be the social media game. It's on. Got to stay current. All right,
yeah.
number 10. What is your favorite season for menu development?
Probably fall season because it
Fall.
reminds me, yeah, fall season because it makes me think about home eating, always game food, game like
Hmm.
deer, venison, that kind of cuisine gets heavy,
Yeah,
racing meats, all that type of stuff. Probably is my favorite.
I agree. Yeah, fall's one of my favorites, especially in the
Mm.
Midwest with like Concord grapes. I love
Yeah.
Concord grapes, and I love to see how chefs can use Concord grapes. So fall's one of my favorites as well. All right, number 11. What is your favorite comedy movie?
What is my favorite what
Comedy
movie?
movie.
Comedy?
Yeah.
Yo, Lord. Uh, I don't know. I don't watch movies anymore. I used to watch only
No,
kids
just too
movies.
busy. I know, right?
I love Ratatouille. It's my favorite movie ever.
All right. That's a funny one. I mean, that counts. That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right. Who would play you in a movie about your life?
Right now, actually, they did. We've done our my life and big screens, and I did it myself.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Started yourself.
yeah.
That's great. That's really cool. All right, last question. And I know you said Ratatouille is your favorite movie, and that is also about food, but like, what do you think is the worst movie about chefs?
Worst movie about chefs.
Yeah.
Maybe Chef. Chef. I think
Chef?
is the name of the movie. Chef.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, that one?
As,
Everyone says that's their favorite. That's the first for me
no,
that I've heard of worst.
my favorite chef's movie is Ratatouille, and the other one is 100 feet. 100 feet. I
The
don't know.
Hundred
I
Foot
don't remember
Journey?
the. Oh, yeah, that one.
I think, yeah,
Yeah,
that one's a good one. That
100
one's
feet
really
journey.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, that's all the questions I have for you, Chef. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for taking the time. I really appreciate it. Thank you for everyone who came out and watched tonight. If you're in Chicago, check out Tzuco. I'm sure it's delicious. I can't wait to go check it out myself. So,
Nice.
yeah, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Every Monday night, having a new guest on. Next week should be interviewing the chef and owner of Michukaya here in Logan Square. So look forward to that. But Chef,
Diana,
again, thank you so much. I really
thank you.
appreciate it. And yeah, I hope everyone stay safe and have a good night. Have a good night, everybody.
Yeah.